This is Ken Smith reminding you it happened today, March the 3rd. But the year was 1634. The first bar tavern opens in Boston, Massachusetts, 1634. It was on this day that President Andrew Jackson and Congress recognized the Republic of Texas. It will take 8 years before it becomes a state. It became a state in 1845, along with Florida. It was on this day American educate reformer Horace Mann joins the U.S. Senate representing Massachusetts. He argued that universal public education was the best way to turn the nation's unruly and undisciplined children into judicious citizens. His plan won widespread approval. Most states adopted one version or another of his public 1848. It was on this day that the United States Congress approved $30,000 to test camels for military use. And so the United States Camel Corps was a mid-19th century experiment to see if they would be useful as pack animals. They were useful, and they traveled well in the southwest region of the United States, but the Army declined to adopt them for military use. 1855. Alexander II of Russia signs the Emancipation Manifesto, one of the great events in Russian history, the freeing of the serfs and granting them full rights as free citizens, while the United States was fighting a civil war. 1861. It was on this day that Anne Sullivan begins teaching 6-year-old blind and deaf Helen Keller. Anne Sullivan studied at Perkins School for the Blind. And after graduating in 1886, she traveled to Alabama to educate Helen Keller and remained Helen's instructor, interpreter, and friend until her death in 1936. What's less known about Sullivan, the teacher? She had a serious eye problem. And in 1935, she was completely blind in both eyes. It was a 49-year friendship between Helen Keller and Anne Sullivan, her teacher. And in the end, it was Helen Keller who became the teacher and the caretaker for her beloved friend, Anne Sullivan. On this day, 1887. And so there's good news and bad news, confusing news. But behind it all is the good news that this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is Ken Smith reminding you it happened today, March the 3rd.